Dear session chair and the members of the session, a research on the topic prospects of the recycling of metallurgical waste is proposed to your attention. Actually, when we speak about metal waste, we mean that it constitutes a significant part of industrial and consumer waste worldwide. Proper handling of them is not only important for reducing the impact on the environment, but also for more rational use and recovery of very valuable resources. Solving the problem of waste disposal has been a priority issue for many years from the point of view of restoring and preserving the state of the environment. The issue of the possibility of circulation of products produced by industrial enterprises is raised immediately before the examination of measures to improve the state of atmospheric air, water bodies, and protect the diversity of flora and fauna. Currently, in terms of industries, the attention of the world community is directed to the waste of mining and metallurgical complex, in particular to the metallurgical industry, the waste of which is sent to artificially created landfills to a great extent. In Ukraine, metallurgy has been a fundamental branch of the national economy for many decades. We can say that metallurgical plants and steel plants have been the largest tax players to the budgets of all levels for many years and constantly create new jobs. Ukraine's provision of large amounts of natural resources for many years made it possible not to consider waste as a production material. So this has led to the fact that the reuse of metallurgical slag as an industrial waste from metal smelting process is only from 40 till 50%. On the other hand, in European countries, it's up to 90% of industrial slag from the total annual volume of formation, which is perceived as components of mixtures, the construction, as plating of roads, etc. In Ukraine, only approximately 20% of slag waste is used in mixtures for road construction. Slags as industrial waste, according to standard approaches, needs to be transported to designated waste storage sites, which causes additional extremely high transport costs, fuel costs, and for giant enterprises costs for the construction of transport routes. Currently, due to the military actions on the territory of Ukraine, there is also the problem of disruption of many logistic supply chains, which has a negative impact on the supply of construction material in particular, stone and other raw materials for the production of concurrent mixtures. Therefore, research and substantial of ways to use industrial slag at metallurgical enterprises of Ukraine in order to increase the economic effect for the enterprises itself and for general ecological effect as a whole is gaining relevance. Going further, one can say that in terms of environmental security, global organizations and leaders are raising the issue of finding new ways of processing waste. This problem is especially very acute in the countries of Europe and the East, because due to the lack of natural resources and the relatively small size of the countries, which doesn't make it possible to find additional places for landfills and actually landfills which constantly are in search of ways to process materials. So during the last decade, the global production of crude steel shows quite high indicators, which was the positive trend, which economically causes the aggravation of the problem of handling waste from metallurgical production, as one can see on figure 1. Furthermore, for a long time, as figure 2 illustrates, China has remained the key exporter of the world steel market, and the main importer is the United States of America. Going further, one can say that as a permanent material that can be recycled again and again without losing its properties, steel is a fundamental material for the circular economy. As a result of growing amount of awareness, iron and steel slag is highly valued as a recycled material that can reduce environmental impact due to its resource conservation and energy conservation. Analysts of the World Steel Association in their report Net Zero Steel Pathway Methodology Project lists the types of steel production waste and most diverse ways of their application, including not only road construction, but also the use of carbon and the restoration of biodiversity in water bodies, as you can see from figure number 3. At the same time, it's important to note that waste that had already been used in other sectors is recognized as an effective means of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. In order to achieve the target indicators of sustainable development and reduce the burden of the environment, it is advisable to use metallurgical slag in industrial, road construction, and repair, in the production of crushed stone, slag steel products, used in agriculture as a soil deoxidizer, and the creation of artificial islands like the Japanese ones. Slag is an improved and more ecological alternative to traditional building materials. It can be used in various applications such as filter for concrete and asphalt mixtures, railway ballast, cement, etc. You can see that on figure 4. Historic Roman roads in the country of Sussex in England were built using discarded furnace slag. Since the early 19th century, the United States has used slag in pavement construction as a base and in asphalt mixtures, railroads, and cement. So, as a conclusion, we can say that leading European countries in the face of resource scarcity and climate change are constantly working and finding ways to use waste for reprocessing. The countries of the European Union pay considerable attention to the issue of metallurgical waste processing in order to reduce the dependence on the shortage of primary raw materials and minimizing the impact on the environment. Among the European leaders in the processing of metallurgical waste, Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Belgium should be singled out. As for Germany, its recycling systems are among the most efficient in Europe. Germany has created an effective waste management system that ensures the collection and processing of various materials, including metals. Sweden has introduced an innovative system of incentives for collection and recycling of metal waste, as well as an active company for working with the community. The Netherlands showed the best results on the continent regarding the processing of metallurgical waste and is a leader in the implementing of modern waste management system. Belgium has a more serious and stricter metal waste management policy in Europe. Today, we can note the successful use of industrial waste in industrial and road construction, chemical and energy industries, as well as in the agricultural and environmental spheres. To a large extent, the environmental and economic goals can be achieved by finding the use of metallurgical production waste, slag. The use of metallurgical slag as a full or partial substitute for a blended substance, crushed stone, creates a positive economic effect for the enterprise by reducing the waste transportation costs, saving on building materials for the construction and repair of commercial buildings, and individual workshops obtaining profit from the sale of concrete mixture and building materials from it, and the overall ecological effect making it possible to reduce the burden of the environmental by reducing the volume of emissions at artificially created landfills and reducing emissions into the atmosphere during waste transportation. Thank you for your attention.